Hello everyone, I am Muxin Xiong. In this presentation, I'll explain the paper CSGAN, a consistent structural GAN for AS-OCT image despeckling by image translation for you. The authors are Sanqian Li, Muxin Xiong, Yusa Higashita, and Jiang Liu. We'll include motivations and background, methods, and experimental results and analysis in our presentation. The first part is motivations and background. AS-OCT, an invasive image technique, is widely used in ophthalmology to diagnose anterior segment disorders. However, speckle noise inherited in AS-OCT images degrades the visual quality and hampers the subsequent medical analysis. Previous work was devoted to removing the speckles and acquiring satisfying images. But according to clinical requirements, it is desirable to maintain locally higher data fidelity rather than enforcing visually appealing but obtaining rather wrong image structure features. Thus, we propose a consistent structure generative adversarial network to learn the clean style of low speckle in repeated AS-OCT images and simultaneously preserve the tiny but vital structure knowledge among the latent feature, spatial and frequency domains. Next, we move to methods. Let's first talk about the model architecture. Driven by the fact that the convolutional adversarial networks have already taken a significant step in the image-to-image translation, CSGAN adopts the generator and discriminator pattern to achieve the pixel-level representations. As shown in this figure, the G consists of encoder and decoder, while the discriminator directly utilizes the patch GAN for the classification of image pairs as real or fake based on image patches rather than the whole image. And it can be understood as a form of texture style loss from speckled repeated images. The encoder adopts two downsampling operations, consists of convolution batch normalization ReLU layer and several residual taking the form of convolution batch norm and convolution batch norm ReLU. Then, we design a latent variable restriction as a regulation term to offset the impact of inaccurate encoding and assist the network in capturing the underlying semantic structure knowledge. Finally, we use the fractionally threaded convolution layer to achieve the upsampling operation. The generative network demonstrates the powerful representation ability in low-level image processing tasks, while it always neglects some tiny but vital details for clinical practice. To balance the speckle suppression and structure consistency, we exploit objective function, latent feature constraint, and introduce perceptual loss and focal frequency loss. Latent feature constraint captures structure semantics in the latent feature maps and allows some slight variation to improve the generalization ability of network. Perceptual loss is explicitly adopted to learn perceptual image patch similarity and incorporate structure texture and minimize the structural gap between the speckled and generated image in spatial domain. And focal frequency loss is adopted to adaptively focus the model on the frequency components that are hard to deal with but can be pivotal for ameliorating quality in the frequency space. And finally, we'll talk about experimental results and analysis. In the experiment, we use collected AS-CASIA dataset from the CASIA-2 ophthalmology device. The dataset provides 184 noisy and 184 clean images by averaging 16 repeated big scans at the same position. The visual comparison among the noisy images, repeated images, and the speckling results of the proposed CSGAN is shown in figure below. We can observe that the repeated images easily get trapped in the edge artifacts at the border of the iris, and loss of detail caused by involuntary movements during the acquisition. At the same time, the despeckling result can capture the structural knowledge in noisy images and learn the style of repeated images owing to the designing of structure consistency in CSGAN and the style understanding ability in patch-GAN discriminator. That's for CSGAN. Thank you for listening.